Hello. Hi. Welcome, everyone. My name is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to my stream/video. So, if you're just discovering this for the first time, coming across this, and you just see this and you think it's interesting, it'd be pretty cool if you sub to the channel, watch the stream, and yeah, maybe join one of the streams in the future. So then we can all talk about the episode. But yep, I cover this series. I do streams for video games during the week, but I also do this Fridays or Saturdays or Sundays or whenever. But yeah. Anyways, we're going to be talking about episode 10 of Pokemon Horizons today. I am going to put some music on in the background. If it's a little too loud, just let me know. But I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to set up a poll so that we can get some ratings for this episode. But let's start it in 3, 2, 1. Put on some Wind Waker music. Alright, let me put this poll up. Rate this episode out of 10. 10, 9. Oh, I don't have the microphone by me. Okay, 10, 9. 8. Oop. 7. 6, 5. 5. Oop. Or lower. There you go. Poll has been created. I will give it a couple minutes for people to show up. I will give it a couple. Dang. It's a little loud. Okay. Alrighty. Just waiting for people to show. If not, I'll start talking about this episode soon. If I didn't put out a message earlier, then my apologies. But yep. I'll just put out a post now to join. Episode 10 right now. Join. More Mario music. I'll put it down just a little bit so it doesn't pick up on my mic. There we go, that sounds about good. Alrighty, is anybody here? Oh, Thomas is here. What's up? How did you like the episode, Thomas? Did you like it? Did you hate it? You're tired? Gotcha. I'm on vacation now, so that's good for me. I need a break from work. But I am going on a trip the next day or so. Yeah, I think this episode pretty much rules them out of doing the gym challenge. Maybe they do it at the end of the series off screen, like that's how their stories end or something like that, but I think for right now, probably no. This was more so a test for him to see if he's going to be up for the task of taking on the Black Rayquaza. Excuse me. But yeah, I thought this episode was pretty solid. I'll get onto my review in a moment. If I'm being completely honest, I kind of wish they'd just stay in Paldea. Because I'm really liking it right now. But if they do go to Galar, Nessa should appear. I agree. It looks like we're going to be in Paldea for a while, so that's cool. Maybe the Black Rayquaza decides to leave Paldea at some point and they have to go around the world or something. Who knows? Sorry if my throat or my voice sounds a little raspy. Throat's a little sore today. Alright, I'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll get started. I imagine it's going to be a quiet evening. I actually didn't put out a notice saying, oh yeah, by the way, we're doing a live discussion today. That would be my bad. I've been behind on a lot of things, so hopefully this vacation helps me get things back on track. I just wish they'd just stay in Paldea. I'm just being honest. That's kind of what I would just prefer at this point. That's just me, though. I think Larry is probably like the one I'm looking forward to the most. I just hope that they knock it out of the park with his personality from the games and bring it over to the anime. Still looking forward to Arvin when he shows up, whenever that is. I think I'll start probably talking about the episode of around the 10-minute mark. But, yeah, there's some interesting things I'm going to talk about here regarding this episode and then the next week's episode. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. I still think this series, 10 episodes in, still hasn't had a bad episode, so that's a good sign. And it has a genuine flow between these episodes. It ends with like a cliffhanger every week, so that's cool. Which we will get to the cliffhanger for this episode later on. But anyways, without further ado, let's talk about Pokemon Horizons. Episode 10, Nemona and Brassius. So I found this episode to be pretty interesting. We head over to the town that Brassius is in. He's the gym leader of, and I thought it was pretty interesting. They're looking around for information on the Black Rayquaza, but they end up stumbling across Nemona, and I have to say that I really like her personality. It carries over very well from the games, so that was really cool to see. So I appreciate that. But meeting her basically leads them to meeting Brassius. And I gotta say, you know, I like Nemona. I think she was my favorite character from this episode, but I think Brassius was also a pleasant surprise as well. I really liked his personality. And I think it's funny, too, because he's voiced by the guy that voices Zoro from One Piece. And it's funny because when this episode was airing, the Twitch chat on the channel that broadcast the episode when it broadcasts, everybody in the chat was like, oh, it's Zoro getting lost in another anime. I don't know, I thought that was funny. But it's also funny too, he also reminds me of Datara from Naruto, just because he kept saying avant-garde is an explosion or something like that. It reminded me of the whole art is an explosion that Datara always said, which I thought that was also pretty interesting too. But it's funny because they meet him, and the only time he takes interest in them is because Lico's dad is Alex, and seems like Brassius is a fan of Alex since they're both artists. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Well, another thing too that's going on is that Brassius hasn't been accepting challengers at his gym. He's basically just shutting everybody out, and it's pretty clear why. He's going through a little bit of a slump because as we find out, he encountered the Black Rayquaza. They end up meeting him, and things seem to be going well at first. There's a few funny moments between Paimon and then his Pokemon. I forget what the Pokemon's name is. It escapes me at the moment. It's Smoliv's evolution, the middle evolution. That was actually kind of a funny moment in the episode. But like as soon as Roy brings up the Black Rayquaza and the Pokeball, he's like, this is not avant-garde, and walks out and gets like super moody, which I thought was pretty funny. But Liko sees part of the Black Rayquaza like sculpture that he broke, and she puts the pieces together pretty quickly that he basically broke his own sculptures because he's going through a little bit of a slump. So they decide to cheer him up, and that's by doing what was the gym challenge in the games and gather the Sunflora, or at least find them. And she does the best out of the three of them. She gets like 30 of them or something like that. Roy and Nemona get a decent amount, but she gets the most thanks to Sprigatito and enjoying the sun. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And he was basically spying on them the whole time. And he ends up actually, again, talking to them after seeing them do this. And I find it pretty interesting because he basically explains the reason why he's in a slump, and it's because he apparently created the Black Rayquaza, and then there's like a weird looking Sunflora sculpture that he was making, and he actually saw the real life Black Rayquaza in person. I thought that was a little bit too plot convenient right there, admittedly, just because he was creating it before actually meeting it. But as soon as he sees the real thing, he basically just throws away his design, and he's in a slump. He's in an artistic slump. He doesn't know what to do. He just doesn't think it's as good as the real thing. But they end up actually, getting him back on track, and Roy actually says he admires it, so he actually likes that. And I also like the fact that he actually tests Roy here, because he basically tests his resolve, because Roy is a beginning trainer. He's like, why do you pursue the Black Rayquaza? What is your purpose? And he says it's his first step, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And he's like, oh, that's avant-garde, so I'm going to test you, boy. I don't know, I thought that was pretty funny. But that pretty much is the next focus in the episode, Roy versus Brassius. It's not like an official gym battle, but they end up having a battle, and obviously Roy's no match. He's still very inexperienced, and also it's Fuecoco versus Sudowoodo, so Roy's already at a disadvantage, and Fuecoco's losing pretty badly. And when Sudowoodo's creating substitutes or whatever, it's throwing Fuecoco off, and he can't even do anything about it. And it's because of Fuecoco's frustration that it learned Stomping Tantrum and gets a super effective hit on Sudowoodo, which I thought was very interesting. Shows a little development here. It shows that Roy can't just aimlessly throw his attacks all over the place. I will say that he did kind of learn that lesson back in episode 7, so he's still got some training he needs to do in order to overcome this, because obviously he hasn't quite learned how to properly battle yet. But anyways, after that, Brassius terrestrializes his Sudowoodo and it becomes a grass type. So you'd think, oh, now Fuecoco has a type advantage, but it becomes faster and its moves become stronger, so it lands a hit on Fuecoco and takes it out. Which I will say I'm fine with this. I didn't really want Roy to just beat up on Brassius. So that was good. But I thought it was pretty well done. So I'm not really too upset about that. And then Nemona explains terrestrializing Liko and Roy. But we learned that Brassius spotted the black Rayquaza in a forest, so they set off to go there. But before doing that, he actually shows off a statue, and it's Smoliv's final evolution. And the one thing that Liko takes away from it is that it looks very sad. So this is something that is definitely going to carry in the next episode because of the whole forest fire thing. But it seems like we ended off on a cliffhanger, and it seems like we got the reveal that we might be seeing Titan soon, if not in the next couple of episodes, because I feel like a Titan was just teased here. So maybe that's what's responsible for the forest fire. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, but yeah, that's pretty much this episode. Oh, you're a grass type, Nick. What are you talking about? Excuse me. But anyways, overall, I thought this episode was a really good episode. It was really solid. We got some development for Roy. He got a little bit better. Hopefully he gets even more better in the future. Brassius got out of his slump, and now is accepting gym challenges again. Nemona was great. But yeah. Solid episode. I do think the whole Black Rayquaza thing with Brassius creating one before meeting the real thing. Yeah, a little bit too plot convenient, but it was still very solid. And I feel like we're going to be getting some Liko development because obviously she picked up on the fact that the statue looks sad, or had a sad demeanor to it. So we're going to see the tragedy in the forest that got mostly burnt down in the next episode. So we're going to see if Liko gets some major developments in the next few episodes. So that's also cool to see. So for me, I would rate this episode like an 8 out of 10. Very solid. So I will let you guys tell me what you thought about the episode. A water fairy type, so you're what's his face? The final evolution in Sun and Moon, Primarina. Is that what you're saying? But anyways, the floor is yours, guys. What do you think of this episode, and what would you rate it? You know, I was hoping Jerome would show up for this one, but apparently he's busy, so even though he said he would be appearing on the stream, but whatever. Seven or 8, okay. Thomas, what would you rate the episode? If I may ask. And Jerome, if you're somehow watching or listening, what would you rate the episode? Oh, Claus. Welcome. Hi. Thank you for joining the stream. How are you doing? Eight and a half. Okay, that's fair. Also, be sure to hit that like button, guys and gals and everybody. Be pretty cool if you did that. And I'll mention this again. My throat's a little raspy today, so if I cough a little bit, that's why. I'm not super sick. I'm just slightly ill. I like how Roy and Liko so far don't seem to be doing the gym battles in an official capacity. Yeah, I think that this episode, to me, it confirms that they're not going to do that. Maybe down the road, Roy decides to get stronger, and that's what his goal is at the end of the series, which I don't really mind if they go that route, but I think for now they need to focus on the pendant and the Black Rayquaza. Like, that's got to be like what's driving the plot. And I like how like Liko and Roy are both equally driving the plot. Like, Liko's got her pendant that she's trying to figure out, but like right now we're chasing the Black Rayquaza, which came from Roy and the Pokeball he has. So yeah. Nemona's in the next episode? Did I miss that in the preview? I would love it if different members of the Volt Tacklers confront gym leaders depending on the situation. That would be interesting. I will say that with this episode, I really hope we get to see all the Paldean gym leaders this time around. Brassius was cool. I hope this is not the only... Oh, yeah, I was going to say, but if he's showing up in the next episode, then he's not his only appearance. But hopefully he makes a couple of appearances in the series down the road, too. Okay. Because I was under the impression it was only Liko, Roy, and Molly that were going to be in the forest. The summaries didn't mention anything about Brassius or Nemona. In fact, let me look it up. Right, Horizons, episode 11. Okay, Nemona and Brassius are in the episode. Okay, cool. Huh. He also showed up very early, too, so... I like that. Because I think in Journeys, I want to say the earliest we got a gym leader for Galar was Raihan? Am I right when I say that? Because we only got a few. The only ones we really saw were Raihan, obviously B, Alistair. I think that may have been it, to my knowledge. So, yeah, we got to see a Paldean gym leader at episode 10, so that's good. That's a good sign. Oh yeah, Piers. Sorry. And I guess by extension, Marnie. But Marnie didn't become a gym leader in the series. But besides that, they only had like half the gym leaders, which that's kind of crappy. I personally want Liko to battle Larry in the future. That would be kind of cool. Honestly, I could see that working. I mean, I like the fact that they're going in a unique direction. I think that makes the series stand out. And that way, You know, you never know what's going to happen. Like, even though Journeys was unpredictable, there was still a sense that, like, oh, Ash and Go are going to go here and do this and meet this character. With this series, I have no clue where where things are going. Like, I don't know how to predict the series, and that's what's exciting about it. Like, who knows what we're going to do in the next 10 episodes? Like, after this, I guess this forest arc of this beginning of the series. So, Dot battling Iono. I could probably see that. Maybe they're like rivals or something. Would it be Dot or would it just be Nidothing or something? Like they have to do a collaboration. That could work. Yeah, I feel like it would be Nidothing because I don't. You know how Dot's like. It's gonna be a while before she would do something like that in public. I think it'd be more so Nidothing. Either that or battling, or they do something like for their stream collab or something. Who knows? I want to see Murdoch and the chef from the Rising Volt Tacklers to battle the Water Gym. Actually, that would be kind of neat. They could work something out there. I want Murdoch and the Water Gym Leader to be colleagues. Like they know each other. Yeah, that could work out. Possibly. Or he's like a fan of his or something. Who knows? They could take. There's a couple of routes they could take with that. But we got some interesting ideas. I think whenever we have like a break or something, maybe we'll do like a stream where we talk about what we want to see for the series. That'd be cool. But I think this episode really did a good job establishing Nemona and Brassius. I feel like that's going to set the precedent for future like gym leaders to show up, and hopefully they show up soon. I mean, I'm curious to see what direction we're going to take. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention, I didn't mention this in the review. It seems like the Pokemon in the forest seem to be resonating with Rayquaza. So I'm curious as to what the implications for that are. Do you think maybe the Titans are going to fall under Rayquaza's like influence? Because that could be a pretty decent plot point. Being an artist, I can relate to Brassius, although personally I find satisfaction in destroying my old art. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not an artist myself. I was never really that good at it, I guess. It's not my forte. Destroying old art that I find terrible. That's a good point. Depends on how bad it is. I'm surprised we did not see a photo of Alex, Brassius, and Hassel. I feel like Brassius is... I mean, he might be a colleague, but... seeing Brassius' personality, I don't think he'd be like one to be up for like a picture like that. The dude looks just very moody and scary. I don't know, so to say. He doesn't seem like a very photogenic person. Hi, Nix. Did you like this episode? Yes, I did. 8 out of 10. Excuse me, guys. Like I said, I'll reiterate again, I have a slight cough going on. Nothing too bad, though. So if I cough a little bit there, that's why. I like Brassius knowing Alex, also Liko being aware of who Nemona is. Yeah, that makes sense. Considering she's from Paldea, so she's likely have heard of Nemona and her being like a champion rank trainer. So that's cool. I like that. I do like how Liko is slowly coming out of her shell. She's still a very shy, nervous girl and doesn't really like social interaction. She's still learning, so... Because she was kind of nervous to shake Nemona's hand, so... Or even look her in the face for a little bit there. So I caught on to that. Were you one of those few who hated how Roy battled Brassius? I think it made sense and love how it was handled. I did not hate it. Personally, it makes sense. The only criticism I do have is that, like, Voikoko was, like, just aiming wherever it wanted to for the, when Sadawoda did substitution. And I feel like that was slightly repetitive just because we kind of went through that with episode 7 when they did the training with Captain Pikachu. And I kind of feel at that point he should have been a little bit more level-headed, but... Oh, because of taunt. Yeah, see... But, like, I think the thing was Roy kind of didn't really handle that the best, and eventually Voikoko was the one that, like, overcame that, because Brassius had to point out that, hey, you need to pay attention to your Pokemon. And that's when Voikoko learned Stomping Tantrum. I mean, you can have criticisms, but I do think some are a little silly. I mean, he is a rookie level, so I'm going to not be too harsh on that. I'm just saying that we already went through that lesson once, so I mean, hopefully after this point he's not falling for that stuff again. I don't hate Roy, and in fact, I'm still kind of neutral on him. I mean, he's still a pretty young character and he's a rookie, so I mean, he's still got a lot to learn. Yeah, some criticisms are kind of weird. I think the one criticism I always thought was weird, I don't know if you guys saw this, I saw a meme a little while back where it was like Pokemon trainers in 1999 versus Pokemon trainers in 2023, and it has Ash punching Mewtwo versus Liko and Roy trembling at the thought of going up against the Explorers. And everybody this was on Facebook, and everybody was like, yeah, Pokemon's not the same. It used to be good back in the day when it was Ash, Misty, and Brock. Now look at it. Nowhere near as good, and Pokemon trainers are just not good. Take an out of context moment and then make it a meme and spread misinformation and get people, to agree with you. Yeah. Not a big fan of that. Especially considering the circumstances of their situation. And their personalities, too. One wasn't even a trainer at that moment. And the other is still, not a very sociable person. So, yeah. Roy is alright to me, but I prefer Liko more. Yeah, that's fair. I heard both Brassius and Nemona were handled well. Yes, they were. And what's up, Emerald? Thank you for joining. Zoro was handled very well. He got lost in another anime. Along with Datara. Because art is an explosion. Or in this case, avant-garde is an explosion. I just dislike the Liko obsession people do. Yeah. There's somebody just recently that came out and said, "Oh, Liko is the best Pokemon girl or Poke girl of all time." I'm like, dude, she's only been like the main character for 10 episodes. Chill. Like, when the series ends, could she be the best one potentially? Sure. I mean, she is a main character after all, and she's getting a lot of focus. And I'm not trying to say that Misty, May, Dawn, Serena, weren't main characters either, but let's just be honest, their goals and their story is secondary to Ash, because Ash is the main focus within the Pokemon anime. Whereas Liko here is a fresh new face, and we don't have Ash anymore, so she is, along with Roy, to be like the focus character. So there's a chance she might get like more development than previous female companions. So there's a chance by the time the series ends, she could be the number one. But I feel like it's way too early to get to that point. What? Horizons is simply being different and realistic, aware of the fact that they're children. Yep, exactly. LOL data. Hey, what's up, T-Henry12? Welcome to the stream. 8.5 for me. I feel they did a really good job with Nemona and how she is in the games. I followed the anime as well. Brassius is exactly what I expected, and I like it. Yes, I agree. Brassius, I feel like was really done well here. I didn't really have a ton of expectations for the character, but I think they did a good job. Plus, he's voiced by Zoro's VA, so that's cool. They were main characters too. That's what I said. I mean, I said they're main characters, but I said that their goals and their stories were secondary to Ash. I mean, it's kind of true. How do you think Rayquaza is linked to Smoliv Final Evolution for next week's episode? That's going to be something that's going to be interesting, because they seem to be resonating with Rayquaza, so there's obviously something going on, and maybe there's some reason behind it. Maybe that's what the explorers are after. I mean, they're after the Liko's pendant. Maybe there's some connection there. It's really hard to say at this moment. I almost feel like we need to watch like the next like 2 episodes to kind of get like a good idea of like what's happening exactly, I guess. But the thing about it is, if they're resonating with Rayquaza, and a Titan ends up resonating with that could spell some disaster, and maybe that's what happened here in this forest. Dawn was especially highlighted because she was mentioned in the opening summary and the openings, if you ever notice. It's been a long time since we've seen the explorers. I'm glad they're not showing up so often. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, they don't need to be in like every single episode. Like, maybe they'll show up at some point. Who knows? I could be even responsible for this forest fire. Don't know yet. Right now I'm thinking Rayquaza is, but who knows? But I feel like they'll come up at some point. I like it when they have more episodes with the gym leaders. They aren't just one and done. Yep. With Nemona and Brassius confirmed to be appearing in episode 11, we're at least going to be seeing them again. So that's cool. I thought initially it was going to be just Liko, Roy, and Molly for this episode, but it's cool. At least this ain't Journeys and they're spending more time together. Exactly. Well, it feels more... How is the word? It feels more glued together than Journeys. Where Journeys was episodic and did its own thing with episodes. This feels like a continuous story, and this is kind of what I wanted for Journeys. So I'm glad that Horizon is going this route. I think maybe the writers realized it didn't work out very well at Journeys and decided to go with this route, which I think is working out splendidly. That's why Horizons, in my opinion, is... if it keeps it up, this could end up being one of my favorite Pokemon series to date. And that's saying a lot. Like, I'm actually genuinely excited to watch this series. And that's kind of crazy to think because Ash is no longer the main character. So they're doing a pretty solid job, I have to say. Just a funny comparison. The first episode of Ash's series is almost entirely on the Ash and Pikachu relationship. Meanwhile, Horizon has a relationship between Liko and Sprigatito, but also the kidnapping. Probably in 12-13 episodes, as in the 12... Oh, in episodes 12-13. In the summary say that the pendant shines again, and Spinal might come into that episode, or Ametheo, as he's after Rayquaza. I mean... We'll see about Ametheo, because didn't he get, like, demoted or, like, taken off the mission or something? I think Spinal's the one that's heading out to retrieve the pendant now. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Or maybe Ametheo goes rogue or something, who knows. They better have especially what happened after the Elan episode. Yeah, let's pretend that didn't happen. I agree. Even Japan was outraged, of course. I still remember it. That was when TV Tokyo had the previews for the episodes, and it got like 30,000 dislikes versus like 100 likes. Remember back in the day when you could see likes and dislikes? Yeah, though he said he's after Rayquaza, not the pendant. He's not doing what Gibeon says. That'll be interesting to see. Do you think he managed to track Rayquaza to Paldea? I doubt we'll see the Explorers in these 2 episodes. I feel like they need to properly introduce Spinal. I have a feeling he'll bide his time and then strike when Liko is alone. That is a good thing. He might be like hiding in the shadows and maybe he's spotted them or something. And he wants to get them so that they're away from the other explorers where Freed's not with them. But in a way, this would be a good time to do so just because Freed is not with Liko or Roy right now. I think it's going to be Molly that's accompanying them in these episodes. So this would be a good time to strike. Oh, hey, Paper Mario music. I literally just streamed this game a couple months ago. But Liko is still in the company of other people, so she's still somewhat safe. Oh yeah, Nemona and Brassius. Depends on how strong Spinal is. I feel like Spinal will actually have a better chance, as he's portrayed to be a lot stronger. Though as of right now, Nemona is with them. She'd destroy him. Unless he's champion level. But I feel like making like a character like that champion level at this point would be kind of overkill. The only thing that I wish they had some post-game or mini-games or something. Are you talking about Paper Mario? I mean, yeah, there is no post game in the Paper Mario, or like the original Paper Mario. You just fight Bowser and that's it. There are mini games I didn't really touch on, but there's like a whole side quest where you have to go and like get like a card or whatever to go do these mini games or something. It wasn't really that great in my opinion. I will say that Thousand Year Door has the pit of, I think it's the pit of 100 trials or something like that. that's like got an enemy that's stronger than the final boss. So that's something that game has at least. Yeah, I just didn't do them on stream just because I don't really care for them personally. And there are some mini games as you go through the game, but yeah. But I'm getting kind of off topic now. Anyways, like I said, better to wait when Liko is alone. Pretty going for a different approach when compared to Methio, who shows up in front of everyone. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I'm interested to see how he's going to handle them. I mean, because I asked if there was more at the end, and you said no. I mean, the end, there's nothing else with the original. That's just Bowser, and that's it. Again, 1,000-Year Door. You have the final boss, but you can do the Pit of 100 Trials or whatever it's called. And then you got a boss that's stronger than the final boss at the very bottom, and it's like really hard. I can't remember for Super Paper Mario. That was the last Paper Mario game I played. What are your hopes for next week's episode? That's a good question. I am very interested to see what's going on with this forest fire. I hope maybe we get some introspective thoughts between all the characters, especially Liko, since she's gonna probably come up with something in episode 12 as a response to this by helping out the forest. I'm just wondering what their thoughts are gonna be as they see the forest Pokemon seem to be reacting to something, which would be Rayquaza. I'm trying to think what else. I hope Molly gets a little bit of development here, or maybe is competent in the episode, or goes in the action or something. That would be cool to see. I'm curious about the potential of a Titan reveal or something. That would probably be the thing I'm looking forward to the most. So yeah, just a few things to look forward to. I'm curious to see how this forest arc is going to go. It's at least going to last 2 or 3 episodes. Say something nice about Cameron from Best Wishes. Do I have to? His hair is kind of cool, I guess. Funny how there's an episode about forest fires considering what's going on in Canada. Yeah, the timing couldn't have been any worse. I really hope Liko or Roy catch a second Pokemon soon enough. Their starters are improving, but they need it at this point in the series. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be coming next. Who knows? Maybe Liko gets a Pokemon from the forest here. There is a chance that might potentially happen. Maybe she ends up, touching a Pokemon's heart or something when she's helping out the forest or something, and it ends up wanting to go with her. I could potentially see that happening. What do you guys think? I feel like Liko is probably going to be the one to get a Pokemon first. Her second Pokemon first. And then maybe Roy, maybe the next 5 or 10 episodes after that. Oh god, something that doesn't involve his appearance. Oh, geez, dude. Let me think. I mean, I guess it's cool that he has a Lucario, I guess. I really don't have a lot of good things to say about this character, dude. Give one of them a Paldean Wooper? Oh yeah, we see an injured Wooper in the preview, don't we? Paldean Wooper. Or as we like to call him, Pooper. Not to mention he has a unique evolution, so that's cool. You know, I had actually, you know, well, we have that in mind. I wouldn't mind it if Liko or Roy catch like a Paldean Pokemon, exclusive Pokemon or whatever they're called, like a Paldean version of another Pokemon. Like Wooper is potentially one. There's others. I just hope they don't get the Dunsparce. That Pokemon's lame. Since Alex allowed Liko to continue with the crew, I wonder if the mother knows this since she's the one who wanted Liko safely delivered home. That's a good question. I don't know. She seems to be really busy. Some people, I noticed some people online basically suggested that maybe she's not so good of a person. Maybe she's potentially working with the explorers or something. But to me, that wouldn't make sense because like she would have gotten the pendant like very easily, in my opinion, unless she's trying to do this like undercover. Who knows? But I'm not sure. I don't even know if she's even going to make an appearance. I hope she does. It's hard to say. She was really busy, so she seems like a very busy woman. What are your favorite things from Best Wishes? I mean, those mini tournaments that they had from time to time were kind of cool. I mean, I do like Silent. He's not as good as Brock, and you know, and personally, if I had to choose between either Brock, Clement, or Silent, I mean, if I had to rank them, it'd be like Brock number 1, Silent 2, him 3. But then we have other characters too. But I do like Silent. He's a decent character. I think she's like Lucamine. That is true. Lucamine's very busy, and she did obviously show up. You like Cameron Emerald? Are you serious? Cameron. Ugh. I'm sorry, dude. I can't agree with that. Roy needs to catch a Lechonk. What? Jerome? You're here. You were supposed to be part of the stream. Are you ever going to show up and actually give your opinion on the actual stream at some point? Who's your favorite rival from Best Wishes? That isn't Stefan. I mean, I like Bianca. She's not like much of a rival, but I always liked her gag of knocking Ash into water. Virgil would have been cool, but Ash never faced him. I don't like Trip. Okay, anyways, where was I? The mother's presence is definitely needed since she's the one who caused the majority of the narrative to happen. Definitely a character to be revealed at a later point because she might have a lot of info. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe later down the road we'll see her. We'll see what role she plays, whether she's, you know, protecting Liko or she's secretly that, you know, an ulterior motive. Who knows? It's hard to say at this point. Silent, in my opinion, was better than Brock. I don't know if I can agree with that. Maybe it's just nostalgia talking, but Brock is like my favorite character from Pokemon. He's an all-around likable character. Though I will say his development was kind of lacking later on in the series until he became a doctor. Yep, Jerome is here. Oh my gosh. Who's your top 3 least favorite rivals? You're putting me on the spot here. Could we consider Rento a rival in Journeys? Like, I guess he served for Sirfetch's development, but like besides that, he didn't show up ever again. If we got to count him, he'd probably show up. Trip for sure. And then Morrison probably, because Morrison was just kind of a last minute addition. An AG. And should have been a character that showed up a lot sooner, in my opinion. Personally, I think it should have been Wally, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. Paul, Gary, and May. Jerome. Is that a response to the top 3 least favorite rivals? Or I don't know. Brock is the OG of Pokemon. Will Marnie fall in love with Ash? Did you make that goofy video before realizing she got like one measly episode in the whole series? I literally made that episode before Journeys even aired. Okay, so just for some context, I've mentioned this a few times before, but for the new people that are here, my most popular and viewed video on this channel is a dumb video that I made called Will Marnie Fall in Love with Ash? And the video was like pure sarcasm, and I didn't write a script for it either. I literally just like made that up on the fly. Literally, I'm not even kidding you. I think I did like 2 or 3 different takes, but that take ended up being like the one that I liked the most. And like I just made it up. It was just a total joke video. And again, the funny part was like literally after that episode aired, after it aired in Japan, literally like not even an hour after that episode aired, I get a comment on that video, Marnie didn't fall in love with Ash. I'm like, oh my god. It was just a dumb joke video that I made. It's supposed to be just a silly video that I made like while waiting for Journeys to come out. Not to be taken seriously, just a joke video, and some people got super mad at me over it. Because people can't take jokes. Literally, it was the same with the joke video I made on Pikachu is totally gonna evolve. I literally got a wave of hate because I made that video. Literally, just a sarcastic video, and people were going to my other videos and being like, haha, you think Pikachu's gonna evolve? Haha, you're dumb. Haha. I'm like, bruh. Are you kidding me? Do you not, like, listen to what I have to say or listen to how I'm talking? It's just a joke, dude. Oh. By the way. What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's up?
Just talking about Pokemon with people.
I see. I just achieved credits rolling for Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, you beat the game?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Anyways, I'm reading questions still. Horizons definitely makes me question whether or not Nico and Roy will have a full team since they don't appear to do gym challenges or leagues. I think they'll probably get a full team at some point. I feel like that's kind of something they probably should do.
Alright.
Nick and Emerald say hi.
Hi, everyone. Oh, by the way, I have some advice actually for Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, what's up?
Don't do everything before you get to the final boss, because I felt way overpowered.
Okay.
Yeah. I had 40 hearts and 68 armor.
Okay, and
Weapons, so
you just like.
If you want a challenge, don't go in, decked out.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, I'm back to my stuff. Thanks, though.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyways, he was funny. I liked his battle with Ash pushing him. Not saying I'm happy. I'm sorry, Emerald. I can't agree with you on that. That's like one of my least favorite episodes in Pokemon, and not only that, least favorite moments in a battle ever. I felt like that was way too disrespectful to Ash. That was really bad. Really, really bad. No way you hate Paul? Oh my gosh, Jerome hates Paul. You guys heard it here. Jerome hates Paul. Confirmed. Yeah, I'd say Brock was at his best in AG, had more development there. Fair enough. You a Marnie shipper? Literally, people, there's, if you go back and look at that video, there are some people that took it seriously. Some people obviously got in the joke, but I didn't care. I mean, I was just messing around and making a joke, and I knew that people that are in the shipping would actually take it too seriously. It just happens. It's the internet. People don't. They'll come across a video and think you're for real, for whatever reason. We saw him interact with his family and gym duties, battled more, and had a more important role throughout AG. Yeah, that was probably in the special episode, I think it was, where he went back to his family or whatever. Yeah, I remember that one. That was good. So is Go catching Sobble instead of Ash? Yep. That was my bad. That was the last time that I did something or made a prediction or said something, because people online were oh yep, Ash is catching Sobble, and then it turns out that Ash, as soon as I found out that Ash caught Farfetch'd, I'm ooh, he's not catching Sobble. That being said, I think Sobble ended up suiting Go more, personally. But we don't talk about that. I got a lot of crap for that, too. Every other series, he was lacking development for sure. I'll talk about the original series sometime, but, yeah, the original series was more of a product of its time. And it was pretty clear in the beginning they probably weren't expecting the series to go on very long until it became more popular than they expected, so it just kept going and going and going and going. So then they probably had to be alright, we actually need to develop our characters. My favorite rival from Best Wishes is a tie between Trip and Virgil. Stefan might be in that tie too, but you said not to include him? I mean, it's least favorite rivals. Trip was my favorite rival. Okay. Teach their own, I guess. Proof, Nick? Proof? That I like Cameron? I don't think so. I know people felt worse with him losing to Alon in the finals. Okay, that was bad, but the way that Ash was treated in his battle against Cameron was just unforgivable, in my opinion. Losing to a trainer that brought 5 Pokemon to a 6v6 battle? Are you kidding me? Bruh, no, don't do that. That is super disrespectful. Anyhow, for real, Iris was a horrible rival for... Really? I mean, Iris has some things I don't like about her, but she's a decent trainer. I mean, she became champion in Journeys. Before Journeys, I should say. Go catching every starter was dumb. I feel like Ash should have probably gotten Grookey, but seeing as how Grookey turned out, I'd rather have Go have Grookey then. I don't know. Who knows? I feel like they gave Go every starter just because he was the new character and they wanted to do something different with Ash, and it being Ash's last series, I guess they just decided not to give him any starters or whatever the reason was. Not only in Chronicles, but Also, when you return in the early episodes of AG and the Battle Frontier portion. Yeah, Battle Frontier is good. That's the best part of AG. Trip is better than Paul. I don't know if I can agree with you on that. Go catching every starter was just infuriating, Grookey especially. The fact that it had no development. Yeah. Probably one of the most disappointing moments watching Journeys or in Pokemon. Yeah. Bro, and the thing that like angers me, not to get off track, but like, remember back like in early Journeys when people like after Sobble got introduced, people were like, "Okay, where's Grookey? When's Grookey coming? When's Grookey coming?" And when they teased Grookey, everybody got super excited. And then Grookey finally shows up, and my God, talk about dropping the ball with it. Oh God, yeah, Grookey might be the worst handled starter in the entire anime. That's pretty bad. Oof. Go was trash. I think it was worse him losing to Lon when we were in 2016, the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. I mean, sure. I mean, a lot of people were thinking he was going to win. I think just naming the episode, you know, Kalos League Victory, that should have not been the name of the episode. They should have just called it Decisive Battle. Who will win or something like that. That way it doesn't like hype people up to thinking, oh my gosh, he's finally going to win, guys. And then he loses. That whole episode was poorly handled. Like, the first episode was good. And then we get to the second half of the Ash vs. Lawn battle, and it just goes downhill. God, did they mishandle stuff in the Kalos League. At least we got Ash versus Sawyer. That was a good battle. Well, I think the thing, too, is, like, I guess, like, to go to your point, too, is, Best Wishes was not, or Black and White, whatever you want to call it, is not a highly regarded series. So, whereas X and Y, like, a lot of people, like X and Y and think it's the best Pokemon anime series. So him losing in that manner, especially with how strong he was portrayed. Yeah. Yeah. Man, am I ever gonna catch up on these chats? Paul was underdeveloped and lacked everything. Really? I kind of like Paul though, and I think they did a pretty good job, kind of making him, be like the talented one. They did the, hard work versus talent thing pretty well, in my opinion. I don't know. I like Paul. At first, I wasn't too much of a fan of Iris because the kid line, but she did grow on me. Glad they made her become a champion. Only thing I wish we had her get a win. Yeah, it's kind of sucks that she becomes champion and all she does is take L's. Like, why couldn't we get an episode where they're just like going out and then she has to face off against like another champion or like a Elite Four member, and then she just shows how strong she's gotten? I don't know. That could have been better. Top 3 worst rivals of any of them, or Ash? Sure. Are you a salty XY stan? I wouldn't consider myself an XY stan. I do like XY a lot, but I think that the way the Kalos League was handled was just, especially with how the series was going up to that point, they kind of just dropped the ball. In a lot of regards. Like I said, Ash versus Sawyer is still a solid battle, and the first half of Ash versus Alana is pretty good as well. And I do think that Sawyer versus Tierno is kind of underrated too. Not the best by any means, but it's a decent battle that people don't really talk about. XYZ was one of the better Pokemon series, so I figured Jerome would say that. Seriously, Jerome, we're going to need to get you on here one of these days. People got to hear your opinions. Top 3 champions. Top 3 champions. Cynthia is definitely up there. Does this count for the anime or like games? What's the criteria here? Because Cynthia is definitely up there. I also like Steven a lot. Anime, okay. Steven and Cynthia for sure. I'm thinking. Give me a second. If I had to pick I'd say Cynthia number 1, Steven probably number 2, and if I had to pick a number 3, maybe Lance. Leon's decent. I mean, I guess he is like the strongest, but like, I don't know. I like Lance still. Dragon Master. But Cynthia is definitely number 1. Let's see. DP was best. Interesting. Noted, Nick. Which 3 series had the most filler in your opinion? Let me think. Johto had a lot of filler. DP notoriously has a lot of filler. If you want to call it that. Some people, again, like to say that Pokemon has no filler. So, throwing that argument out for right now, we'll just say Pokemon does have filler. Johto, portion of OG, seeing as that's the first 3-year, like, I guess, series, or where Ash and the others go to a series, or like a region for like 3 years or something, whatever. X and Y had some pretty bad fillers, in my opinion. It had some good fillers, but it had some pretty bad ones, too. I'd say DP, Johto, and maybe AG. I don't know. It's kind of, I guess, I'd have to get like the list, because I know there's someone that did like a list of what would be considered filler. I'd have to look at that just to be a little bit more accurate, but yeah. Let's see. The festival's too loud. Oh yeah, Jerome's. You're at a festival right now. Dang, let him cook. I like Leon, but Cynthia's my favorite champion. Agreed. I mean, I do like Leon too, but you know, maybe I'm being biased when I put Lance up there. But I like Lance a lot. Surely you thought you'd say Diantha. She had the biggest glow up in the games. Not sure if I agree. Cynthia's the OG champion. I do like Steven too. Steven is up there. One of my few hot takes. I like Sun and Moon a lot because it really felt like it was Ash's story come to life. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a really good point. I agree. Oh yeah, I forgot Wallace was a champion. He's not a champion anymore in the anime for some reason. But yeah. Yeah. Wallace could have been a pretty decent champion. Or he could have been someone Ash would have faced in the actual, like, PWC. But, oh well. What's done is done. You loved X and Y filler. Like, there was some good filler in X and Y, but there were some pretty bad ones. Like, there was a stupid episode with the princess earlier on that was trying to, like... I can't remember what the episode was about now. Like, they were trying to wake up Snorlax. That episode was kind of dumb. The Halloween episodes were kind of entertaining, though. The Serena Becomes Ash episode was pretty good, too. But there were some other really bad ones. The Lapras episode was kind of meh. There was a few other fillers that were pretty bad next. Oh, I remember the stupid Litleo episode. Oof, that one was bad. But there were some good fillers in XY, I'll admit that. Let me turn this music down. It's a little bit loud. Anyways, Harley really hated that dude. Plus, he was really creepy how he did some stuff. And Ursula, not my fave either. The Gabite contestant. Sorry, but how barely felt. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. They kind of dropped the ball with How. I'll give it that. I like Sun and Moon, but How could have been treated better. At least he was better treated than Hop was. But yeah, they could have done a better job with How. Maybe introduce him a lot sooner than they did. Have him appear in more episodes besides the one before the league. Top 5 least favorite Ash Pokemon. Oh my gosh. I would have to really think about that. I would have to like sit down and think about that. So maybe we'll come back to that later. There's a few that come to mind, but a top 5, I'd have to think about it. How important he was in the games, he came too late compared to the anime. Yep, agreed. XYZ has some good anime filler, but I believe Journeys top it? Really? Noted. Pokemon Blue. Wasn't even the point of filler. Why not just finish the series? I mean, they could make it seasonal, which is kind of what I've wanted for Pokemon for a long time. With Hop, he was fine because he wasn't a rival to Ash, unlike how they... Yeah, but at the same time, he should have been someone that, like, actually, like, did something. I just felt like they kind of just threw him in at the end and be like, oh, yep, he exists. I don't know. I just feel like they really dropped the ball. Like, they dropped the ball with How, but they really, like, slammed the ball through the floor with Hop. Oh, jeez. I know I might get a lot of crap for this, but Noivern, unfortunately, Noivern was the weakest link in the XY team, and I just didn't feel like he did a whole lot, unfortunately. Let's see, what else would I put up there? I like all the Pokemon in Sun and Moon, surprisingly. Yes, I don't really care for Noivern. Is that really that much of a hot take? I mean, Noivern, like, just took L's. Pignite I'd probably put up there too, yeah. Dracovic, I never really cared for Dracovic, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know if that's a hot take. I'd probably throw that on the list. I genuinely like Ash's journeys, like his Pokemon team and journeys, even though they could have gotten more development. It's just Dracovic, yeah. Not a fan of Dracovic. I mean, you're asking me my top 5 least favorite. I just think it's funny that Sean Schemmel voices Dracovic in the dub. I don't know, something about that cracks me up. Oh yeah, Palpitoad. That's what I was trying to think of a Pokemon. I was that was like what I was thinking. I'm like, what was the Pokemon from Best Wishes that I really didn't care for? Palpitoad. Yeah, I would put Palpitoad up there too. I'm trying to think what else, who would be number 5. I don't know. I don't know if I put Levaney in the top 5. It's not my favorite, but I'm trying to think. I'm going back to Johto. I want to say there was one from Johto I didn't care for. But which one? Been a long time since I watched Johto. I like Heracross, though. I thought Heracross was pretty cool. I like Totodile, too. I think Quilava could have been better. I don't know if I'd make it my least favorite. Bayleaf, I like Bayleaf. Okay, maybe not Johto. I liked all the ones from Johto mostly. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, Kingler didn't really do like a ton. It just when it actually debuted, it evolved and then like 3v1'd or took out 3 Pokemon in a row, which still is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in Pokemon. Not the biggest like fan of Kingler. He's there. He gave Ash a W, like a weird W, but yeah. I don't know. I'd have to really sit down and think about it. Look at all the Pokemon and then come up with a whole list. Love Noivern, especially how it still the Zapdos, but man, its win record. See? Like, the evolution was cool, but then the rest kind of just dropped the ball. Hold on, guys. I gotta turn a light on. It's getting dark in here. Let's see. Where was I? Yeah, the Magikarp filler and Slow King filler were great. You actually like those episodes? Are you talking about the rap battle one? I was gonna say that episode was kind of dumb. The Magikarp one was Magikarp one was stupid with Ash and Go being like super buff in that one. Still, I'd put Palpitoad on there because it barely did anything. Yeah, agreed. What about Levani? Oh, yeah. We already answered that. Who is your favorite Pokemon not counting starters? You know who it is.
Incineroar. Charizard.
Excuse me.
Charmander. Hence why I'm Mitchelmander.
I like Levani and Vespiches. It went toe-to-toe with Sock, even though it lost. Okay, yeah. I like Greninja.
Well, guess what? I don't care. It's a starter. I don't have any other favorites. Get wrecked.
Where was I, anyways? Favorite champions would have to be Steven, Cynthia, and Ash. I mean, if we want to throw Ash in there, sure, but I wasn't thinking of throwing Ash in there. The Marstop episode was the best filler? Are we... really? That's the worst episode of Journeys, in my opinion. I hate that episode, dude. I gave that episode like a 1.5 out of 10. Because that episode was bad, in my opinion. Really bad. I've never been so bored watching an episode. The Turtle Race one? Really? I didn't like that one either. I hated the 2-in-1 episodes. I thought they were all trashed. I can't agree on the Marstop one. That episode was the worst Journeys episode in my opinion. It might even be my least favorite Pokemon episode. Not counting like certain episodes that were like atrocious. The Slow King episode? I did not like that one. Like, at all, dude. It was, like, funny for, like, a little bit, and then the rest of the episode, in my opinion, was just bad. Pokemon should go back to episodic? Really? I think that Horizons is perfectly fine going in its continuous, like, plot route. I like Slowking, but that episode was just bad. The Mr. Mime Pikachu running away, what? Yeah, that episode was pretty bad, too. Oh, hey, Skyward Sword music. Hot take, but I love the Farfetch'd Surfetch'd focus episodes. Going from rogue to a knight was something to see. No, I don't think that's a hot take. I think most people actually genuinely like the Surfetch'd or Farfetch'd Surfetch'd stuff. I think he's probably my favorite of Ash's Journeys teams. You also like the Lucario score when he got stuck together episode? I guess we just disagree on Journeys because I hated that episode too. I think I gave it like a 3 or 4 out of 10. I thought it was pretty bad. I really hated those type of Journeys episodes. If you go back and look at my reviews, you can tell I did not like those episodes. The B focus episodes? The B focus episodes were alright. I just didn't think the ending landed, in my opinion. The first episode was pretty good. The second one was decent. I just didn't like the gap between them. Like the Ash Depression episode. That was very awkwardly placed. The Surfetch was pretty good. Many found it well, even towards the end. How did it did in the Masters 8? Yeah, agreed. I didn't really care for the Masters 8. Like, in hindsight, like, there's some episodes that I thought were decent at first that I kind of don't like anymore, but Ash vs. Cynthia and Ash vs. Leon were still pretty solid. Especially the ending. The ending landed. I will say that for the Masters 8. The ending absolutely landed. B was cool, lol, how she stomped Ash, tied, and then lost. See, that's kind of the route I think they did a decent job at doing. Ash versus Cynthia was trash. I don't know if I agree with that. I liked how Cynthia was shown to be very, like, powerful throughout that match. I think there were some issues towards the end, though, I will say, that kind of drop it down, in my opinion. I don't think I could make it, like, top 5 best battles. Or even top 10 favorite battles in the anime. It might hit top 10, or be an honorable mention, but I like Ash vs. Cynthia. How is Cynthia a bad champion? She's the best! Yeah, Devin. Devin likes B. By the way, Nick, Devin showed up last night for a little bit. We had a good chat. Leon versus Diantha was the best. I was going to say, are you saying that unironically? Lance versus Diantha was decent. They just had to kind of just ruin Diantha's victory there by having her get curb stomped by Leon in her next battle. I agree to disagree. In my opinion, I think Cynthia versus Iris was the best quarterfinal battle. And obviously Leon versus Lon was the worst. Leon versus Lance at the beginning of Journeys was pretty good. uh... I don't agree with the Lon versus Leon thing just because, yeah, in my opinion, they did not do that right. I think they should have dedicated more time to that battle. They made some mistakes in the Masters 8. It was absolutely rushed. They stuffed it in at the last part of the episode and then just shot right through it. Why should they have rushed it more? That would have been really disrespectful. More disrespectful than it already is. I'm a little confused. I'm enjoying this music though. Thanks for the playlist, Emerald. I like how we went away from talking about this episode to various different Pokemon topics. These streams go in different directions than I expect them to, so I guess that's what makes them interesting. Grookey and Eevee's Aaron episode was a good episode? I have to go back and see what I rated that episode, because I thought that episode was, meh. Kind of okay. I see what the point of the episode was. I don't like Grookey. But in all seriousness, I thought about it more. I think for the longest time, my favorite Pokemon outside of a starter was Lugia for a long time. I used to be a big Lugia fan. Though I think these days I like Ho-Oh a little bit more. Oh my god, the Pikachu getting arrested episode. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched that episode. I can't even remember what it was fully about. The only thing I will say for that episode was the shot of Pikachu having handcuffs on it was kind of silly. Pikachu looks super confused as it's literally getting handcuffed and thrown in prison. Pika-Pee. Pikachu, Pika-Pee. I'm going to prison, yo. For something I didn't do. Oh, hey, Throwback Galaxy. Okay. Dude. I've been streaming for an hour and a half now. I lost track of time. What's up, y'all?
Hit that like button if you haven't already. Lol.
I think we already talked about the Buff Magikarp episode, but yeah, I've already made my stance on how I feel about the 2-in-1 episodes. Personally, I think that was the best out of the 3, but yeah, that's just me. Alistair's a good boy. Yeah, what's up? Are you just looking through my channel or something? Because that's from my Twilight Wings series that I was reviewing back in 2020. I didn't have a title for that episode, so I just threw that on there, and it got more views than the other reviews. So yeah. Oh, you're leaving? Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining and having an interesting discussion with me tonight. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Okay. So who's all here still? Wow, your dad fizzled. Okay, so it's just Nick. Emerald might still be here. Who knows? I'm just wondering. Oh, hey, Wind Waker music. Okay, so, seeing as we've gone on for a little bit of time, it seems like these streams last a little bit longer than I'm used to, but yeah. Oh, hey, Elv. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Everybody that's here, say hi to our new guest. How are you? I guess since you're joining here, what are your thoughts on this episode? You don't... I mean, we can still go on. You just found my stream. Yeah, we can go for a little bit. We went on here for a little bit, so, excuse me? Oh, you didn't like the episode? Wow, really? Why? May I ask? I mean, that's your opinion, but I'm just curious to see the reasoning. You can also put your vote up in the chat. You don't like Nemona? Really? Okay. I don't know too many people that don't like Nemona, but that's interesting. Brassius is creepy. I mean, he's avant-garde. It's an avant-garde is an explosion. Fizzle, what's your opinion on Brassius and Nemona? Curious. I mean, hey, to each their own. Nemona is a knockoff of Ash. I mean... I'm not sure if I agree. I get that she's, battle hungry. She kind of takes some notes from Goku, too, but, you know. I like Nemona, personally. She has a lot of energy. Brassius, he's kind of just like, he's like a super like artist dude that's definitely loses sleep over his work. Anyways, the small live is gross. I think it's Dolive, I think is actually. It's the small live's evolution. Its oil shots were uncomfortable. Really? Okay. I mean, sure. Can you give me a link to watch the sub version of the episode? Sure. Hold on a second. I do have a link, but I'm just going to tell you right now. Just listen to me carefully. Just when you go to this link, when you find the episode, you do have to have a torrent downloader. So just go to that website, and if you have it, then you're good to go. But you need to download that first, and then you'll be able to properly download it. But yeah, they usually have the episodes out the day, like later in the day, or depending on where you live, it's usually like 12 hours later or so. I feel like saying Horizons is trash is a bit of a hot take, but to each their own, I suppose. Right now, I think Horizons is at 10 episodes with both Journeys and Horizons. I'd say I'm enjoying Horizons a little bit more. That's just me, though. Journeys is a good series. I mean, it has its good moments. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'll say this about Journeys. They wrapped up Lily's story really well. That at least puts Journeys up a few points. Just that alone. The Lowell episodes were genuinely good, besides the one. I'm trying to think. Ash versus Leon. Lily was trash. Okay. I think we disagree now. Ash versus Leon, especially Pikachu versus Charizard, is still like one of the best moments in the series. I'll give it that. So it does have some good, genuinely good qualities here and there. Me? Personally, no. I did not care for the Marshop episode. I didn't really care for the 2 and 1 episode. How was Ash vs. Leon trashed? I mean, there was a couple issues, like the Gigantamax Cinderace portion that kind of sucked, but overlooking that, it's still genuinely decent battle. I mean, Leon's Inteleon uses Ash's counter shield strategy that Pikachu has after just seeing it once. It was 4 episodes long. Okay, anyways. I lost my train of thought. Good music, by the way. I mean, it kind of went off the rails a little bit. Excuse me. I mean, I don't know if I would say if it's Ash's ultimate goal, but it was a pretty big milestone following his championship in Alola. I mean, how do you follow up Ash winning the Alola League? You have Ash face off against other champion-like characters and rise up in the ranks. I mean, that's one thing that I think that Journey's actually genuinely, like, that the whole concept was, like, the right direction. I guess is what I'm getting at. Ash should have won the Best Wishes League. I mean, I don't like Cameron either. Do you think Ash would have beaten Virgil though? Because I feel like that may have been like where Ash ended things off. I think he should have at least made it to the quarter or semifinals, at a bare minimum. But yeah. Oh hey, look, we got some common ground there. Crocodile was like a powerhouse. Boulder is pretty cool too. I mispronounced that, but whatever. How is Crocodile lame? Palpito was cool. Poopa Stinka. Hold on. Who are your favorite Ash rivals? Paul. I like Alon, but I also like Sawyer too. Gladion, I do like Gladion too. Gary, obviously too. I mean, I like almost all of his rivals. Some of them are like Morrison or. I'm not the biggest Trip fan either. Hagrid. Interesting. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm trying to think. Gladion is trash. How? I mean, to each their own, but why? I mean, I guess you don't like Lily, so I mean, I guess it makes sense you don't like Gladion either. Okay, Ash is trash. Okay. Are we just trolling now? I mean, Ash has flaws, but I wouldn't say he's trashed. I mean, that's a discussion for another day, I'd say. Being 10 was trash. Nemona is Ash's daughter. I'm just listening, dude. I'm alive. Chill. Chill. Let's have a chill conversation, okay? I'm here. I haven't left yet. I love you, Brandon. Oh, okay. Brandon's cool. But anyways, is there anything else? Anything else we want to talk about before we end things off? We've been going for almost 2 hours here, so can't wait for next week. It's been fun. Okay. All right, Emerald. See ya. Well, there's not really much else to talk about, Elf. We've been going for 2 hours. Brandon. Who are your favorite colors? I like red. But anyways, I'm serious. I pretty much need to get going now. So, is there any final thoughts before I close things off? Yay or nay? I guess I can give some final thoughts. This episode was a pretty solid one. In my opinion, a 10 out of 10, or not 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Excuse me. Would definitely recommend it. I'm sorry, I gotta end things off, dude. I can't go on for 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I got something to do. These only go on for like usually an hour and a half, hour and a half, so but anyways, I'm sorry guys. I gotta get going, so I do appreciate you stopping by. We'll be doing this again next week. I am going to be off stream for a little bit just because I'm on vacation this upcoming week. So I'll be back on Friday for Tears of the Kingdom, and then we'll talk about episode 11 of Horizons. Sometime on Saturday next week. So yeah. Anyways, guys, have a good day or night wherever you're at. And I will see you all later.
Bye.